The first time the man came through the drive-thru, he paid for his food and left without taking it. The second time, he did the exact same thing. The third time, he leaned close to the speaker and said my full name, not my first name, my full name, and I had never told him who I was. My name is Tyler Bennett. At the time this happened, I was 23 and working the late shift at a fast food place on the edge of town. I will not say the real name of the restaurant, but it was one of those places with a drive-thru that stayed open until 4 in the morning. It was not a great job, but it paid rent. I usually worked from 9 at night to 4 in the morning. After midnight, there were only 2 of us in the building. Most nights, it was me at the window and an older guy named Rob in the kitchen by 1 or 2 in the morning. The road outside got quiet. The lobby was closed. The only customers came through the drive-thru. Drunk people, night workers, truckers, sometimes cops. Nothing too strange, at least. Not until the black sedan. It first showed up on a Monday night. A little after 1:30, the car pulled up to the speaker, but the camera above the menu board was blurry from rain, so I could not see much. Just headlights, dark windows, and a long black hood. A man's voice came through the speaker, calm, low, normal. He ordered a double cheeseburger meal with no onions, large fries, and a black coffee. Nothing weird. When he reached the first window to pay, his window only came down a few inches, just enough to slide his card out. His windows were tinted, and the inside of the car was too dark to see his face. I ran the card, handed it back, and told him to pull forward. He did. Then he drove right past the pickup window. I stood there, holding the bag, watching his taillights disappear onto the empty road. At first, I laughed. People did dumb things late at night. Maybe he was tired. Maybe drunk. Maybe he forgot he ordered food. Rob came up behind me and asked what happened. I told him, "Some guy just paid and left." Rob shrugged and said, "Free dinner," so I put the bag aside. That should have been the end of it. 4 nights later, the same car came back. Same time, same order. Double cheeseburger meal. No onions, large fries, black coffee, same low voice, same dark window, same card sliding through the small gap. And again, he paid, pulled forward, and drove right past the pickup window. This time, I did not laugh right away. I watched the car disappear again and felt that small, uncomfortable feeling you get when something repeats too perfectly. Rob said maybe the guy was high. That made sense. I told myself it was. Nothing. The third time happened the next week. Same car, same time, same order. By then, I knew it was him before he even finished talking. I pressed the headset button and said, "You know you keep forgetting your food, right?" There was a short pause. Then the man said, "I'm not forgetting it." I looked up at the camera screen. Rain streaked across the lens, making the car look like a black shape sitting in the dark. I said, "Then why order it?" Another pause. Then he said, "I just wanted to see if you would keep taking it." I did not answer. I should have told Rob right then. I should have refused the order or asked the guy to leave. But part of me still thought it was just some weird joke. He paid, like always, but this time, when I handed his card back, his fingers brushed mine. His hand was cold, not cold like he had been outside, cold like ice water. He pulled forward. I waited at the pickup window. Holding the bag, he stopped for once. The tinted window stayed up. I could not see him. I could only see my own reflection in the glass. My face, my headset, the bright restaurant lights behind me. Then the window came down, just 2 inches. His voice came through the gap. "Have a good night. Tyler Bennett." My whole body went still. My name tag only said Tyler, not Bennett. I never used my full name at work. It was not on the receipt. It was not on the menu screen. It was not on the drive-thru display. I leaned closer to the window and said, "How do you know my name?" The window went back up. The car drove away. That was when I stopped thinking it was funny. I told Rob, and he immediately checked the receipt. The card had gone through, but the name on the payment did not show. It just said approved. No customer name, no account details. Rob told me it was probably someone who knew me from school or town. That was possible. Our town was not huge. People recognized people. But I kept thinking about the windows, the voice, the fact that he never took the food. The next night, I asked my manager to check the drive-thru camera. She was annoyed, but she did it. The footage showed the black sedan at the speaker, then at the pay window, then at the pickup window. But the license plate was unreadable, not blurry, not hidden by rain, just unreadable. The whole backplate looked like a flat, white rectangle, like the camera could not focus on it. My manager said the camera was old. Maybe she was right, for 3 nights. The car did not come back. That was the false safety part. I started to relax. I told myself the guy had probably gotten bored. Maybe he was some local creep who knew my name and wanted to scare me. It worked, but maybe that was all he wanted. Then, on Friday night, I found the bag. It was sitting on the counter when I came in for my shift. A fast food bag, our restaurant bag, folded neatly at the top. Written on the front in black marker were the words, "No onions." I thought Rob had left it as a joke, but when I opened it, my stomach dropped. Inside was a double cheeseburger, large fries, and a black coffee. Cold, untouched. The receipt was stapled to the bag. It showed the order from the first night. Monday, 1:34 a.m., but the receipt had not come from our printer. It was old, wrinkled, and smelled like smoke. At the bottom, under the total, someone had written, "You ate the first one." I did not tell Rob. I do not know why. Maybe I was embarrassed. Maybe I did not want him to think I was making a big deal out of nothing. I threw the bag in the dumpster outside. That was a mistake. At 1:34 a.m., the headset beeped. A car had pulled up to the speaker. Looked at the screen. Black sedan, rain on the camera lens, dark. Windows. My mouth went dry. The man did not order right away. He just sat there, pressed the headset button and said, "Can I help you?" Static crackled in my ear. Then his voice came through. "You threw it away." I looked toward the back door where the dumpster was. There was no camera on that side of the building. I said, "Who are you?" He ignored me. I paid for it. I pulled the headset off and called Rob over. By the time he reached me, the speaker was silent. Rob looked at the camera and said, "Is that him?" I nodded. He told me not to answer and said he would call the manager before he could. The car pulled forward to the pay window. I stepped back from it. The window rolled down a few inches. This time, no card came out. A folded paper slid through the gap and fell onto the metal tray. Then the sedan moved forward, stopped at the pickup window for a moment, and drove off. Rob picked up the paper before I could. He read it, then looked at me. His face changed. "What is this?" I took it from him. It was a printed photo. A photo of me walking into my apartment building, taken from across the parking lot. Under the picture, someone had written, "You get home at 4:22. That was the first time I felt real panic. Not fear.panic, because the man was not just coming through the drive-thru. He knew where I lived. Rob called the police. 2 officers came about 20 minutes later. We showed them the photo, explained the car, the orders, the full name, everything. They took it seriously enough to write a report, but there was not much they could do. No plate, no clear face, no threat written directly, at least not in legal words. One officer told me to park somewhere visible when I got home and to call if I saw the car. Again, that made me feel better for about an hour. Then I remembered something. The photo had been taken from the far side of my apartment parking lot, right where the visitor spaces were. When my shift ended, Rob walked me to my car. I drove home, checking every mirror. I took a longer route. I pulled into my lot at 4:29 instead of 4:22. The black sedan was not there. I sat in my car for a minute, waiting. Nothing moved. No headlights, no person standing outside. I felt stupid again. Maybe the police had scared him off. Maybe he saw Rob and knew people were paying attention. Now I went upstairs and locked my apartment door. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number, 1 message. Late tonight. Did not sleep. The next few days were awful. I kept seeing black cars everywhere. I kept checking my windows. I changed where I parked. I even stayed at my sister's house for 2 nights, but I had to go back to work eventually. The man did not come for almost 2 weeks. Then my manager told me the drive-thru camera had been replaced. That actually made me feel better. If he came back, we would finally get the plate. That same night, at 1:34, the headset beeped. I looked at the new camera screen. Black, sedan, clear image. No rain, no blur. The car sat at the speaker. The man said, "Double cheeseburger meal. No onions, large fries, black coffee." I did not respond. My manager was in the office doing paperwork, so I called her over. Rob came too. All 3 of us watched the screen. The car pulled forward to the pay window. My manager whispered, "Do not open it." We waited. The driver's window rolled down. This time, more than a few inches. Just enough for the camera above the window to catch part of his face. Only, there was no face. Not clearly. The inside of the car was black, too black for how bright our lights were. But a hand reached out, holding a card. My manager grabbed the phone to call police. The card dropped onto the tray. Then the man spoke from inside the car. "You should not have changed the camera." My manager froze. None of us had told him that. Then the power went out. The whole restaurant went black except for the emergency lights near the exits. The headset screamed with static. The drive-thru window unlocked with a loud click. I stepped back. Rob grabbed a metal spatula from the counter. Like that would do anything. Outside, we heard the car door open, then footsteps, slow, not toward the drive-thru window, toward the back door. My manager whispered, "Storage room, now." We moved fast through the kitchen. The back door had a small square window. As we passed it, I saw a figure standing outside, tall, still, head lowered. The emergency light behind us reflected in the glass, and for 1 second, I saw the figure raise one hand. He was holding the food bag I had thrown in the dumpster, the old one, the one I had thrown away days earlier. I froze. Rob shoved me forward, and we locked ourselves in the storage room. My manager called 911 from her cell phone. I could hear her whispering the address. Then came the knock. 3 soft taps on the storage room. Door. Tap. Tap. None of us moved. Then his voice came from the other side, not loud, not angry. "Com. You took the order." Tyler Bennett, my manager, covered her mouth. Rob held the spatula with both hands. The doorknob turned slowly. It stopped. Then the man said, "You were supposed to open the window." That sentence still bothers me more than anything else, because I had opened the window before. Every time, every night he came, I kept thinking about that cold hand touching mine. The doorknob turned again. Then we heard police sirens in the distance. The footsteps moved away, not running, walking like he had all the time in the world. By the time police arrived, the power was back on. The black sedan was gone. The back door was locked from the inside. The drive-through window was locked, too, but the new camera had recorded everything until the power cut. The footage showed the sedan. It showed the card on the tray. It showed the window rolling down, but the driver's seat was empty. The car had moved from the speaker to the window, with no one visible inside. Then, right before the power went out, something appeared on the camera feed. Not a face, a reflection in the drive-through glass behind me. There was a man standing inside the restaurant. He was right behind my shoulder, but in real life, no one had been there. The police searched the building. They found no one. Then they checked the card he had left on the tray. It was not a bank card. It was my old employee ID from my first job, a grocery store I had quit 3 years earlier. I had lost that card before I ever worked at the restaurant. On the back, written in black marker, were the same words from the receipt. "No onions. I quit the next morning." The police never found the car. The license plate on the footage was clear this time, but when they ran it, it came back to a vehicle that had been scrapped 8 years earlier after a fatal crash. A black sedan. The driver had died at the scene. According to the report, the crash happened at 1:34 in the morning. That was all they told me. No name, no explanation, nothing that helped me sleep. I moved out of my apartment a month later. I changed my number. I stopped working nights. For a while, nothing happened. Then last week, I came home from my new job and found a fast food bag sitting outside my door. No logo, no receipt, just a brown paper bag folded neatly at the top. Should have thrown it away, but I opened it. Inside was a cold double cheeseburger, no onions, and written on the wrapper in black marker was my full name, Tyler Bennett. Under it, someone had written, "You still owe me a pickup."